4 years ago, a frantic call for help launched an 11 Alive investigation, exposing failures in the nation's 911 emergency system.
We're at Douglas High School, and I think there's a shooter.
Hello?
Today, many of those same failures still exist.
At that very moment, that these dispatchers aren't even understanding what each other is saying. People are being shot. People were being killed.
4 years ago, 11 Alive's groundbreaking 9/11 investigation revealed stunning weaknesses in the nation's emergency response system.
And even today, all wireless 911 calls are still routed by cell tower location, not the caller's location.
So on this 1-year anniversary of the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, our investigation reveals a delay in finding a caller's exact location is still contributing to massive confusion and lost lives.
And what you're about to see is very difficult to watch, but important to see. It is a life and death problem that needs to be fixed. Here's Chief Investigator Brendan Keefe.
I think we got shots fired. Possible shots fired, 1200 building.
Attention all units, possible shots fired at 5901 Pine Island Road at Stoneman Douglas High School.
34 students and teachers were shot before the first officer made entry. The gunman already long gone.
Daniel 2, I hear shots fired by the football field. Shots fired by the football field.
Shots fired by the football field.
What you see here turned out to be useless. The deeply flawed response contributed to 17 deaths according to a state commission. But the failures began before any officers were even dispatched. Back to that very first call to 911, picked up by a cell tower across the street in the next city.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello, we're at Douglas High School, and I think there's a shooter.
Hello? You still there?
The caller, under fire, hung up.
Talk to me, please.
The 911 call was answered one city over in Coral Springs, but Parkland relies on Broward County Sheriff's deputies, so the Coral Springs dispatcher transferred the call to Broward 911.
911, what is your emergency?
Yes, I just got a call from Douglas High School. A female on the line advised that they believe there's a shooter at the school.
Okay, at Douglas High School in what city?
At that very moment, that these dispatchers aren't even understanding what each other is saying. People are being shot. People were being killed.
And it's secondhand information from a student?
A female called in. It sounded like possible shots in the background.
Okay.
I think I heard 5 or 6 in 2 different bursts.
Nearly a minute passes before the Broward dispatcher realizes she's talking with another dispatcher in a different 911 center.
And you're calling from where?
I'm from Coral Springs.
This was the most preventable tragedy ever.
Max Schachter's 14-year-old son Alex was murdered during the dispatcher's confusion on that first transferred 911 call.
Had you even ever thought of 911 or any of these issues before?
No, I mean, you know, nobody thinks about it. They think that if you dial 911, you're going to get the police and they're going to come help you. Nobody ever thinks that you're going to have to tell your story to one operator, then they're going to have to transfer you to a different operator. It's just ridiculous.
Because of the need to transfer that first 911 call to another dispatch center, the first law enforcement officers weren't notified for at least 69 seconds. By that time, Nicholas Cruz had shot all 24 victims on the first floor and was headed upstairs to shoot more.
Okay, is the door locked? Okay, are they getting closer to you?
So, you know, it wouldn't have saved my little boy, even if it would have been a perfect scenario, because Alex, unfortunately, was the warning shot for the kids on the second floor to run and hide. Alex was one of the first little boys that was murdered.
Okay, does anyone have an address to where I'm sending the police to?
You don't have the address for the high school?
Hold on one moment, just a moment.
There was a school shooting over at Stoneman and Douglas.
Stoneman and Douglas?
Yeah.
What's the name of the school? In what city?
Parkland.
Parkland what?
Parkland, Stoneman, Douglas.
And you said the school is located on Parkland and Douglas?
Stoneman, Douglas High School.
Coral Springs received at least 130 911 calls about the shooting.
It was in the hallway. They were shooting into my classroom.
And tried to transfer 4 callers from the Parkland High School to Broward.
Yes, this is Coral Springs with the transfer. This person's advising at the shooter at Douglas and Parkland. The shooter's in the north parking lot.
Okay.
Go ahead for BSO.
Okay, hello, excuse me, hello?
Hello?
This failed transfer would have alerted police to the shooter getting away.
Where's the location you say the shooter is located at?
He said the student parking lot on the north side of the school.
Okay, what school? I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Only one of the 4 transferred callers was still on the line by the time the second 911 center picked up.
Did he have a description of the subject or anything?
I did not get the description before I transferred him. He hung up.
He hung up the phone. Okay.
Every single 911 call from inside Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School went to the neighboring city by design. Parkland chose to route all its cellular 911 calls to Coral Springs on purpose because Parkland contracts with Coral Springs for fire and ambulance, but not police.
If you dial 911 on that phone right now, sitting here in the Parkland Library, where is that call going to go?
It's going to go to Coral Springs.
And Coral Springs still can't send you police. They have to basically call somebody else.
So as soon as this problem was identified, I've been trying to fix this problem. If there's another mass casualty incident tomorrow, we are still going to have to transfer these calls, and people are going to die because of it.
The GPS is showing it was just sitting at the tower.
The closest tower to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School for a cell phone is in Coral Springs. It's across the border. Even without this decision, the natural way that calls are routed, they would have gone to the wrong 911 center anyway.
A national public safety crisis we first revealed 4 years ago, 3 full years before the Parkland shooting.
And even 11 months after 17 people died, including my little boy, we still don't have those things fixed. And I don't want any family to have to go through the pain and anguish that I go through every day.
Max is on the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Commission. He proposes giving every teacher in America trackable key fobs with a panic button that could directly notify local police.
And Aisha, here's another important point we should point out. Most of those students and teachers under fire didn't call or text 911. They sent text messages to family members as far away as New York and Indiana. And the vast majority of those 911 calls were from parents and grandparents in other counties and other states, literally reading texts from their children and grandkids.
This is so alarming here. So Brendan's Lost on the Line series, which dates back 4 years, can be seen on 11alive.com. Watch how it all started or rewatch tonight's powerful investigative story.